Everyone, welcome back to our Alpha Model Ferrari F8 Tributo build. Part 1, we got it all body prepped, primed and painted. Part 2, we're going to get all these other parts all cleaned up, mounted ready for primer and get them painted. So we've got lots of parts to do. Quite a lot of these are going to stay on their paw plugs for painting. Thankfully, Alpha Models is quite clever on where they locate their paw stubs. But it is often on an area that can't be seen, which as a model is a bit of a godsend because it saves a lot of faffing around mounting parts, and it really is a useful part. So as you can see here, all these parts, they're going to stay as they are, as will the brake calipers, because everywhere we cut them off is a part that's hidden. So we can get away with basically just some light cleanup. They've already got paw stubs on. If we're going to remove it like we do here, we can just cut it off with some side cutters and then sand it. I'm using a UMP sander here just to sand the edges off. And then bits like this, we've got a protruding part underneath we can clamp to. And then things like the brake disc, again, all pre-mounted. So it's a case of going through, working out what's what and getting everything ready. And we're going to mount this in various ways. We're going to use clamps, sticks, CA glue, holes in parts, whatever works the best. We're going to go through, but it's a case of working through it. These are the covers that go over the exhaust, and looking at it, they sit recessed so we can leave the paw stub on to paint. And like I said, we're using our drill here to put holes in the paw stub, and that way we can get a cocktail stick in there, and we will use that for priming. So quite a laborious task. I'm not going to go for everything because we'll be here all day. You see me clean parts up before, so it's going to take our time. Anything we drill a hole in, we're putting a cocktail stick in, as you can see. And like I say, Alpha Model is very generous in where they mount parts. So quite often it's in an area that's going to be hidden, like under these seats. You're never going to see under here, so it's a perfect place to mount things for primer. Once everything's mounted, we can get everything mounted up in our spray stands. These are U-Star spray stands I bought 4 or 5 years ago. They've had hundreds of uses. Both sides are absolutely littered in holes where they've been used. And what I'll tend to do at the beginning is put everything in primer colour. So for the most part on this, nearly everything's going to be primed in black. But we'll have a few parts get primed different colours. Roll those out of the way, we're going to focus on the photo etch. Again, going through the instructions, looking for what is going to be painted, because some of the photo etch isn't. It can be left a natural colour, and then just cutting it off with our Zoron shears and cutting off the excess fret with the shears as well. And if needed, we'll use the Tamiya Diamond file, specifically made for photo etch, to clean up that fret mark where it's been. And it's a case of mounting everything up, ready for paint, using some reverse mounted Tamiya tape, as you can see. With the likes of the grills and that, make sure they're orientated the correct way, because you don't want to paint it the wrong way around. That is very frustrating. On the brakes, we've got these little bits of P that sit on the calipers. So these just need popping in place. So just trimming them up perfectly. Then we're going to get some glue. We've got one of our precision applicators from ProScale. These are absolutely fantastic for putting small amounts of PE right where you need them. Easy to clean with either a knife or acetone or a flame if you're gentle. We then get our tweezers. Looking at references, make sure you get the right part in the right place. We can drop these in place and get them glued in. Now we're going to paint and prime these all together, so that's why we need to put these on now. It's just a case of working our way around until you're happy. Once everything's there, we're now going to prime everything. Now we're going to prime the PE in our ProScale photo etch primer, which is a formulated etch primer, so specifically made for photo etch. So this won't clog any grills or bung up anything, and it will chemically etch itself to the photo etch, giving a much more resilient primer to the photo etch. So we'll do coats over the top, then we're going to angle and do all the different sides to make sure we get all the recesses. Like I say, this is mounted on reverse mounted Tamiya tape. I found it the easiest way of spraying photo etch on some tongue depressors. These are invaluable tools for modelling. For mounting parts like this, they work really well. And just a couple of coats of the etch primer will work wonders on this. And just build it up nice and slow. Now, this stuff dries almost instantly. It dries right before your eyes, mega fast. We don't need to prime it in any other colour. The grey primer will do just fine. We've got all these bits as well. So these are the brake discs. These are all going to be painted different colours. So the discs themselves are going to be carbon grey, and the mats are going to be textured black for the interior. I always like when we get the floor mats for the interior. I think that adds a nice bit of detail. With us having textured paint at Pro Scale now as well, it does add that extra nice touch, because the textured paint on the floor mats just looks like a real floor mat. It looks absolutely fabulous. So several light coats on here as well. Like I say, this stuff dries lightning fast. It really is quick. So just angle it, get all the recesses and all the angles and the sides and whatnot, and you're good to go. Just take your time. There we go. You see we get a nice coverage there. Using my Water CR3 here, 18 psi. Once that's done, we've got some pink primer. Now I'm going to try something different today. We've got red engine covers, which is why I'm using pink. What we're going to do is going to prime our brake calipers in pink as well, because I've heard pink is very good for yellow, and I've never ever tried it, so we're going to try that today and see how it works. So putting several coats of this down. This is actually, I think this is Mr. Surface of pink I'm using here, I think it was. Couple of coats down on each part, and we'll leave that to dry. And then all the other parts, all the chassis, running gear, interior, it's all going to be primed in Mr. Surface of 1500 black. So several coats of this, building it up. We got our nice primer coat down. I don't use Pro Scale for a reason. It's a microfiller, so it needs sanding when it's done, which is no good if you can't get in there to sand it. So because of all these recesses and nooks and crannies, we can't get in there, so it kind of defeats the purpose of having a microfiller primer if you can't fill it. So I'm just going to go around with a microfiller from Mr. Hobby. This is a 1500 black. Again, Water CR3, 18 psi. Lots to do. I'm going to give everything a nice light coat. Now we've got some Grigio Corsa Metallic. Now this is the colour for the wheels, and again, this is the colour of the wheels from that car I found the reference of. So we're going to have two contrasting silver colours on the Ferrari. This is slightly darker than the body colour. These wheels are absolutely beautiful. These are some of the nicest wheels I think I've ever got in a kit, and they look absolutely stunning, and they look absolutely beautiful in this colour. So they were primed in black, several coats of the Grigio metallic. Yep, that will ensure we get in all the appropriate areas. And as you can see, the colour builds up absolutely beautiful. Remember to get side to side, getting all the nooks and spokes of the wheel underneath as well is always a helpful tip. And just build that colour up over probably 5 or 6 light coats. The colour will come over time, and it will just grow depth as it goes. Now we've got some emblems to go on this. We're going to give it a wash and a clear coat as well. Now something I've never tried before, like I said before, is yellow over pink. Never ever done it. Didn't think it would work. And oh boy, was I wrong, it does. But one thing to be aware of, it does really darken and enrichen the yellow. I was gobsmacked how quick this covered. This is Pro Scale's brake caliper yellow. It covered super fast, but it did darken the yellow. I think it made it more rich rather than saying it darkened it. It was a lot richer of a yellow, but yeah, whoever said it was pink primer with yellow works absolutely fantastic. So definitely something I'll be looking at doing in the future. I would not have thought pink would work with yellow, but it certainly does, and the proof is there right in front. So just several light coats, just building it up. Wonderful. And then onto the engine cover, we've got some GX Mr. Hobby Red. Now, I did want a kind of semi-gloss finish to this, so the Mr. Hobby's perfect for this. I did want full gloss, I didn't want satin, I just wanted like a semi-gloss. So this has been thinned with Mr. Level and Thinner. I'm just going to put down several coats, building it up to give us that nice semi-gloss finish that we require. So just take your time, build up nice and slow. I think I might use my Water HPC H here. For these, I am. It is the airbrush I'm using. Tend to use it for smaller parts like this. And then for the interior, we've got some Pro Scale Napa Black. And some Pro Scale Napa Black for textured, Napa Black for the floor mats and what have you. So several light coats of this, building it up over the black primer. will give us a nice interior colour. And again, inspiration for this was the car I found. Discs, we are painting in ProScale Carbon Ceramic Grey. This is a beautiful colour for carbon disc. I really enjoy using this one. It looks absolutely fantastic. And again, getting all the angles, get the sides of the PE. Just build it up slowly. If you watch it when you're spraying, you'll literally see the metallic particles landing on the model. And they do look absolutely fantastic. So just build it up slowly. So what I tend to do is get a nice coat down, leave it to flash off for 30 seconds or so, and then come in and put the airbrush just a little bit slower, and you'll literally see the metallic flakes hitting the surface, and it'll just build it up slowly and gives that real carbon ceramic look that you get off real carbon brakes. So it does look really good once done. Now we do a black as well, which is a bit darker. I like the grey at the minute. I think it simulates most of the carbon discs, but look at the reference of the model you're building, look at the real reference car, and you can see the colour of the carbon, because it will vary from car manufacturer to car manufacturer. Once that's done, we've got some Tamiya LP5, which is basically what almost everything else gets painted in. So all this PE here is going to be LP5. These are basically external grills. We've got some more brake components, some internal parts as well. We're just going to give these several light coats, just building it up. And again, getting all the recesses and angles, making sure we get all the sides of the PE done as well. Just build it up nice and slow. Like I say, no benefit in hosing the paint on. You get a much better finish doing nice thin coats. Multiple thin coats are better than heavier ones, because you will get a much better result. Engine, we've got some ProScale. I think this was, it's either bright aluminium or superfine silver. I think it was bright aluminium. Obviously, you guys are behind on my builds. I am currently 2 builds ahead on this. I've just finished the Supra. I've got the Urus on the go. So trying to think back sometimes, my memory's a little bit hazy. I do have a habit of showing the bottle to camera, but sometimes I do forget. So forgive me on that. I'm pretty sure this is ProScale Bright Aluminium here I'm using. Beautiful colour. Covers absolutely fantastic over black primer. And there we go. There's everything painted up and ready for some detail painting, decaling, and then ready for final assembly. So lots of nice parts there painted up. So first off, we've got some decals for the calipers. We've got some Ferrari logos to go in. We've already put one of these on the wheel, as you can see. We're going to change these later on, because I've got some of my MSM 3D logos, so they're going to go on later on. But for now, we've got the decals on there, and then we've got some little Ferrari decals for the side of the calipers as well. So a standard decal procedure: get it off the backing paper with water, get it in place, set it, heat it with some heat decal solutions. Job done. And what we're going to do now is give the wheels just a quick wash. Now, we're not going to flood them at all. I just want to give them a light wash. I'm just touching it to the center, so we go in and around all the wheel nuts. And all this will do is add a little bit of depth to the model, make it look a bit less monotone. I see so many beautiful models built, and the builder hasn't given it a wash, and it adds depth to the model, just makes it look a bit more realistic. And it's simple touches like this that will, it really does change how the model looks. The aim of the game here is to try and make a replica of what we're looking at, and that's exactly what I'm doing, is trying to make a replica of the car that I've seen. Once that's dry for a bit, we can wipe off the excess with some cotton buds and some with some Winsor Newton Sansador. And again, with the engine components as well, before we assemble them, we're going to give all these a light wash as well. So just applying a little bit. Don't worry if you apply too much. It's an enamel-based wash going over a lacquer, so it doesn't interfere. You can wipe it off without any destruction. But my philosophy is, if I hold a wash, give it a wash. It looks much better. It adds depth to the model as well. And this stuff takes about 30 minutes to dry. Depends how thick you put it on. But once it's dry, come back, wipe off the excess, and it will leave a nice weathered look behind. Now the seats, like I say, sadly this car's got different seats than the one I've seen. Had it had the seats that the car was inspired by, we would have had texture paint in the middle, but alas we didn't, so I've just gone for the leather look. These are a bit more comfort seats. We've got white Ferrari logos on the back of the seat as well. And again, standard decal procedure: get it in place, get the moisture out, hit it with decal solutions, and job done. Over in the booth, we've got the engine cover masked up. I'm going to spray the black on the back end. Just going to take our time here. A couple of light coats of, I think it's LP5. Semi-gloss black from Tamiya. Just build it up nice and slow, getting all those nooks and crannies. Just ensure it is masked up properly. You don't want to ruin your hard work on the red. So just ensure that tape is burnished down. Then the wheels, we've got some Mr. Hobby Super Clear. And we're going to give these several coats of clear. So getting all the nooks and crannies, angles in and around the spokes and underneath as well. This has been thinned about 60% paint to thinner. And we're going for the CR3 again, 18 psi. I'm just going to put down a decent amount of coat here. And again, our final coat will get this because we'll thin the paint a touch more and pop it on to get the final leveling coat. Calipers exactly the same, the Mr. Hobby Clear. A couple of coats out to get nice glossy calipers. Now the rear lights are red, and this is a trick I've used before. Much easier to do this, and I think gives a much better finish, is to dip the light. So mount it up securely, and then some Tamiya X27, I believe the clear red is. Just dip it in, and then remove any excess. Now you may find it kind of collects inside. The best way to get it is to pop that little kind of surface tension bubble with a cocktail stick, and then leave them to one side to dry, and that's it. As simple as that on the rear lights. The seats and all the interior and that, we're going to matte now. So we've got some Testors dual coat. Sadly, a product no longer available in the UK. I'm lucky to have plenty of it though, so we're all good. This is a dual coat. This is going to flatten all the shine from all these surfaces and make it look a lot more like leather. Excuse me. So just a few light coats of this, you'll literally see it matte before your eyes. Once that's done, we've got ProScale's texture paint. This is our Napa Black, so the same colour as the Napa Black leather interior. It's just this has a medium in to make it textured. And this will literally become textured before your eyes. So multiple light coats, get a base coat of paint down, let that dry, and then just keep topping it up coat after coat, and you'll see the texture get more and more as you go. Nice simple effect, and it looks great. You can always matte this later on if you want to as well. And there we go, there's part 2 done. We'll be back for part 3 very soon. We'll get this project finished. As always, you want early access on these videos, you can get 3-month early access on these videos by becoming a Patreon, link down below. You'll also get access to an exclusive Facebook Messenger chat group. There's like 70, 80 of us in there, all chatting away through the day, sharing tips, having a laugh and a joke, asking advice. We've also got a Facebook group, private group for us all. I do a bench update every Sunday for the patrons, in which I go through that group and look at everyone's work and what you've been sharing as well. You can get 10% off of ProScale paints. And you can just come join our wonderful community. And with your support, you're joining all the guys and girls who help keep me being able to do this as my job. Without these patrons, I couldn't carry on doing these videos. So come on over, come and have a look. There's all different tiers you can pick. And also go and have a look at proscalepaints.uk. You can get all the paints on there, a lot of products using my videos. You can get kits, tools, carbon fibre decals, sanding sponges, all sorts of stuff over there now. Come over and have a look on our website, and I'll catch you all very soon. Big thanks to all my patrons as well. Take care, bye-bye.